McLarens on the inside are also going well. René Rast up on the inside, trying to take second place. I'm not sure he's going to quite do it. Are we going to see any contact through this first chicane? Everybody trying to jostle for position, but it's clean so far.
Yeah, certainly it's very wide in there, so it is a clean now, and you can see the McLarens trying to sort of push their way through. One of them's up to third, the other one is in fifth. It's actually René Rast that's made it past Norman Nato into third place. He's been very quick, and so he'll be quite keen to stay with the lead battle, being Denison Finastres. But as you see, Antonio Felix da Costa coming through. Now this is in the middle of the circuit, but again with that wide sort of track, it allows them to all get through cleanly right now.
So Jake Dennis making that perfect getaway. Finastres in second place, René Rast in third. Still some side-by-side action. The attack mode activation zone not in, can't use it yet. You've got to do a couple of laps.
And Nico Muller's been dropped down to the back, so something's happened with him. He's dropped away a little bit.
Okay, so that's interesting to see. Two cars starting from the pit lane. They will be coming from the back, of course. You can see Nick Cassidy in the green Envision. He's made up good places, you know. He started down in 10th, and he's now into 5th place, 6th place already, Cassidy. So da Costa really is on a bit of a flying run at this stage. But as you say, there's changes all up and down.
Well, da Costa wants to strategically get into control this race, because he said clearly he was going to try to help his teammate.
Yeah, a bit of damage done to the car as well. In fact, that's Nico Muller, I think. That's Nico Muller, the other Abt Cooper teammate, as we say, for Robin Fine. And that doesn't look good. Yeah, bits flying off the car as well. So it will probably be difficult to know. And you mentioned Roberto Merri. There he is, stopped at the side of the track. So there's obviously been some sort of issue with the car. Doesn't look like damage.
198. Am I taking attack with the yellow T7? Makes sense.
Well, a little bit of strategy going on, but in the background you can just see, going very slowly, Roberto Merri trying to get out of the way. No power at all by the looks of things.
No, he's down in the cockpit trying to adjust something, maybe trying to do a bit of a control.
Because of the only car in the top 10 who's taken attack so far.
So interesting, yeah, they're just reporting to Jake Dennis, only Nick Cassidy of that lead group.
Earlier on, which we think it was his teammate that hit back off. There you see the nose, and it's only held up by the side supports, not held up by the main supports. My opinion, that nose is going to come off at some point very, very soon. The first curb he hits, then it's going to come off, potentially get lodged under the car. So preparation for a restart in probably about 15 seconds.
Okay, Sasha, we have to box end of the lap to change the front wing. We have to box end of the lap to change the front wing.
Well, there we go. No surprise really there as the safety car's heading in. Oh dear, that's a great shame, and it might. I wonder if he's going to be able to get the car back on. Meanwhile,
safety car.
Yeah, safety car back in play once again.
Big crash, no more brakes, just went straight on.
No brakes working, he just went straight on, so that was a frightening one. We'll get another look at it, I'm sure. But Nico Muller, yeah, very much out of this race, and there's been quite a lot of damage to the car.
It has been, because he was on the grass on the other side, so I'm not exactly sure how he got to there. He actually crashed about 3/4 way down the run between attack mode and the chicane, which normally we call it a straight, but it's a curve. But he was on the grass fully in the left and then came into the wall on the right.
Well, tricky times indeed for Nico Muller. Up front at the moment, it is Nick Cassidy who has the lead. Nico Muller is out of the car and he's okay, but there's clearly a lot of damage done to his machine, and the brakes didn't work. And it will be interesting to see when we see the replay of this, if we get an opportunity as to exactly what happened to him. Always a bit tricky to read, but that has not gone well for the team, for the Abt Cooper. He definitely said he had no brakes at all, and I think that maybe just led, there was nothing he could do but crash into something.
Yeah, I think that, well, there's obviously the suspension and the wheels are pointing every direction apart from the forward direction, so if he's lost the brakes as well and bounced from one side, he couldn't stop it from crossing the circuit. Very fortunate that everybody in the train had all passed by this particular point, but Nico Muller clearly very out of the race, and also, for as much as they might be able to breathe a little bit more quietly in the car, they'll still have to do the work at the end of the race.
Yeah, it can be up. It's only 7 laps. Let's have another look at this.
So it's a car at the back, and it's on the left-hand side, and he maybe clips the car behind. Maybe it's damaged the right front, but
look as though
very minimal, if anything.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's the speed that he's going across that was the thing that surprised me. I actually think he's tapped the car ahead of him, which has broken
the part of the remainder of this race. Nick Cassidy, he won't want to stay in the front. Once the safety car comes in, he will not want to stay in front for very long.
No, that's very true, but in Berlin, we thought he was also going to do the same thing, but he still controlled the whole race from the front and did a superb job and kind of defied the odds, to be honest with you. So therefore, I wouldn't count him out to want to stay there, but I would also suggest you're right that he is going to fall back into the back here, then the left, then they go into attack zone. And so therefore Norman Natto's going to take his second attack mode. He's already done one, and he'll knock into his second one now. There he goes.
Yeah.
And following as well a Maserati. In fact, two Maseratis following, then one of the McLarens, in fact both McLarens, and the remaining Cupra of Robin Freins.
Attack mode, then maximum efficiency. I think Cassidy will slow down, try to lose the lead.
On the 28 mark on the graphic, we know there will be extra laps added because of the safety car period.
Will be, but certainly they're now actually starting to go for it. You see them weaving and snaking as they're trying to just break the train, and there's Pascal Wehrlein making an attack as well. So Wehrlein's starting to shuffle his way forward.
Jean-Eric Vergne's up in that group as well. He's doing
his teammates' hand because his teammates saving energy, still sitting in the train. And so from that perspective then, you know, it is quite a clever strategy from a team perspective that Da Costa starting to play.
You're on board with Jean-Eric Vergne. He's in attack mode, and so he's got a chance to get past Max Günther here. Is he going to make it?
Okay, we stay there with efficiency now. 1 minute left of attack. If any other alarm, give it.
He's been told to stay there. He's had the highest top speed of anybody, Jean-Eric Vergne, 272.3 kilometers per hour. We are seeing the fastest straight line speeds in Formula E that we have ever seen. And we've also noticed that it's not much different to what IndyCar's top speed is around this lap as well. Nick Cassidy, though, almost alongside Da Costa, and Vergne down the inside there. Vergne alongside Max Günther. So Vergne is very much a part of this. He's still got that few seconds of attack mode, but watch out for Jake Dennis behind. He's got attack mode at this point as well.
The problem he's got is that Cassidy's sort of not exactly attacking into the corner, and that's allowed the Da Costa and the Porsche to get back into it, because it was quite easy. The Avalanche Andretti car was overtaking there, Da Costa, but just wasn't able to get it done because it was blocked.
Jake
Round the outside.
Yeah.
Nice work. Very, very nice there by Jake Dennis.
And he's trying to go for the lead. He's trying to go for the lead around the outside. He's got into second place, but Jake Dennis, the man who was on pole position, who led those early laps, venue in the United States that has seen Formula E, and what an intriguing final battle we've got. The likes of Nick Cassidy fighting for the championship. Da Costa's a bit further down in the points, but another victory would help him. He's had one win already this year.
And Buemi's just coming out of his attack mode. He's run his last few seconds, 6 seconds to go, and that's what he's used very well to propel him back up into fourth place in the last lap. He's got to do Da Costa at the end of the straight, or he doesn't have a chance, because there's just not enough corners to do it. He has to get one of the cars done now.
Coming down, you can see that Jake Dennis having a little look around the outside of Da Costa. Oh, no, he can't quite make that work. Da Costa holds on to second place. Nick Cassidy is still in front of both of them. He'll be looking in his mirrors thinking, oh, it's good that they're battling. I've got a bit more space there.
Yeah, but that's actually used up that extra 1% energy, because he also had to defend from Buemi coming out. He had to square off the corner, and that means that he'll have sacked away some of the advantage that he had. But that was important for Da Costa to block it. It was important for Dennis to try to make it happen.
Buemi is still in fourth place, chased by Mitch Evans. Evans really needs the extra points at this stage. It's worth a risk for Evans to try and get past Buemi. Sam Bird just a couple of places further back with some damage on the front end of his car. But we are now coming into the closing stages of this race, and Nick Cassidy is looking for victory, but Jake Dennis goes into second place. Jake Dennis, Da Costa must be weak on power or something, because he had to lift off so early, and Jake Dennis has still got a chance, hasn't he? Out of the last corner? No, I don't think he has. Nick Cassidy has judged it perfectly again, I think, as he comes over the line. Yes, Nick Cassidy takes his third win of the season on 0% energy as he crosses the line. A brilliant performance by the New Zealander to take another victory, and that'll put him right up there in the championship. But with Dennis close behind, we shall see.
Guys! Come on! Yes! Yes!
Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. A real wonderful drive by Nick Cassidy, judging it to perfection.
I think Jake will be thinking, well, what could have happened if I'd been able to get past Da Costa at the beginning of the lap, not at the end of the lap. But this man, Nick Cassidy, I think did a sterling job. He's got a real skill for getting to the front in one of these peloton style races and just controlling the gaps, controlling the position, and knowing when to go, knowing when to release it and go flat out towards the end. And he's won a couple of races this year and put himself into a real strong title challenge with that style of driving.
Well done to Nick Cassidy. He is now 1 point behind Jake Dennis in the championship, so Jake has held on. Celebrate after a fantastic race up there, but especially between these top three who have made the podium, and Antonio Felix da Costa having his run across, taking his first podium in 7 races in fact, because his last podium this year in Formula E was when he won in Cape Town. He did that from 11th on the grid, and today Nick Cassidy almost matched that by winning from 10. Jake Dennis though, is keeping this remarkable run of 16 points still available, but it does mean that he is very much fighting for the title, and he's had that focus all year long. There were a few races where things didn't work out for him, but it's worked well today. But Nick Cassidy taking the victory, and like Pascal Wehrlein, he now becomes a 3-times winner this year. Pascal did not have such a good time, finished down in 9th today, so scored just 2 points. The 2 drivers this year have now taken 3 victories each, and it's Nick Cassidy on this occasion with Jaguar Powertrain, with the Evision team, who has taken victory. And the USA, as we heard from him, he loves racing in the USA. He took the victory at the Brooklyn race last year, the first race of the weekend. Funny enough, we've never had a New Zealander win Formula E, but then we've never had a British driver either. Jake Dennis is leading. Meanwhile, celebrations for Franz Jung, the chairman of the board at Evision Racing, as they are top team here today, taking the victory with Nick Cassidy.
For ABB to present the trophy to third place
Jess
driver
Hansen
Antonio
handing out the
Felix
trophy
da
to
Costa.
third placed finisher Antonio Felix da Costa. And he's got a big smile on his face. He's had a bit of an up and down season. That win in Cape Town was remarkable. Well, hasn't always worked out that well for him, but certainly scoring a lot more points than teammate Pascal Wehrlein on this occasion. Wehrlein, one of the ones who has missed out on this occasion. Jim Etzel handing out the award for 2nd place to Jake Dennis, keeping up this remarkably consistent run of podium finishes, and great for the Avalanche Andretti team. Andretti on home turf in Portland. But Rich Stinson hands out the trophy to the race winner. It is Nick Cassidy who's done it again. Win number 3, and the championship chase is still on for him as well.
To present the moment to our winning driver, Nick Cassidy.
Wonderful time for Cassidy, for the Evision team, and time for them to really start celebrating. Yes, indeed. Look at that, the spray time for Nick Cassidy. It has been a brilliant weekend for all 3 drivers here, having to play cautiously to save energy for so much of the race, but to come from 10th place on the grid, Nick Cassidy has once again come to the front to take victory and to be very much a part of this championship battle. But Jake Dennis